Welcome to the Amplify Youth Voices Alaska workshop, Cartooning Faces with Lee Post. It is an honor to bring you high quality coping skills and connection for Alaska youth. To start us off, I'd like to begin by recognizing the ancestral and indigenous lands on which we're learning and living. I am Laura Forbes, Arts Education Program Director at the Alaska State Council on the Arts, and I'm currently living and working on the ancestral and unceded land of the Dena'ina, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. I am grateful to be meeting you from Dena'ina Eshnena, and please consider, if you haven't already, introducing yourself in the chat box and acknowledging the land on which you're living and learning today. And we'll pop a map of native lands into the chat box as well, in case you need resources to do that. And going right on ahead to the next slide, this project is made possible from CARES Act funding through Spirit of Youth and the Department of Education and Early Development, with generous support from the Alaska State Council on the Arts, Center for Safe Alaskans, Anchorage Youth Development Coalition, Youth Alliance for a Healthier Alaska, and the First Alaskans Institute. And I also just want to stop and acknowledge that some of the folks from those partners are here with us today, including Jenny and Aiko and Brittany. Thanks for being here, along with Lee, who we'll introduce in just a few minutes. And going ahead into sort of how things are going to work. If you're navigating Zoom for the first time, we will be utilizing the cameras function if you choose, the chat function with everyone, and the other reactions buttons that can be found at the bottom of your Zoom application screen if you have them. As a heads up, this meeting is being recorded and being broadcast on YouTube, so that folks, if you get kicked out of the Zoom, you can pop onto the YouTube link and follow along from there. For confidentiality, you can leave your camera off and change your name for anonymity if you prefer, now that you're in the workshop. At points along the way, our artist presenter Lee may ask for cameras on to show your work. So then, for our best learning environment together, please limit the distractions to our artist presenter and our workshop participants. Keep yourselves on mute unless you're asking a question of the presenter or answering a question from the artist. Are there any other agreements or rules that will help your learning today? Please give us a thumbs up, either in your camera or on your reactions, and let us know if you agree. How do we feel? Are we getting some thumbs up? All righty. Good. It looks like we are definitely getting some thumbs up. Thanks everybody. I appreciate it. So then we know that the last year has been incredibly challenging to every part of how we live, work, and play. We often use art to cope, to heal, and to process what we're feeling. So please consider checking out these resources on this slide to access basic needs, mental health services, and crisis intervention if you need. And these are also on the Amplifying Youth Voices Alaska online platform, which is also the place where, after this workshop and any time while the project is ongoing, you can share your creations with us and with your peers. Email your visual or audio works to dhss-pit@alaska.gov. And we'll pop that email address into the chat box. You can also go to the Amplifying Youth Voices Alaska online interactive platform and post through there. So now we're almost going to get to know Lee, and many of you I know are already friends of Lee and are raring to go. But before we get started, I am just going to ask if one of our co-hosts could pop up the first poll, because we're going to ask, what kind of artist do you dream about becoming? Take a moment and please, if you would, just take a poll and let us know what you're thinking about. And you can check all of them, you can check one of them, you can check none of them if you dream about becoming another kind of artist. Or what kind of artist are you already working with? Awesome. I'm seeing singer musicians, I'm seeing songwriters and painters, seeing dancers and filmmakers. Fantastic. All right. So then another question for you. Give you just another second. It looks like we've gotten quite a few responses here. Lots of painters. That's cool. Lots of painters in this group. I see that. Very good. All right. So then we want to ask you one other question before we introduce Lee. So what is your age? We'll pop up another poll. Let us know, if you will, kind of what age range you're working with, just so we can get to know you all a little bit too. All right, thanks for participating, guys. This is great. Very cool. All right, thanks everybody for participating. We appreciate it. And with that, we'll go ahead and end the polling for the moment. But I'd just like to take a moment. Thanks for giving us a chance to get to know you. And I want to introduce my friend Lee Post. Lee is a cartoonist and illustrator and has spent his career working with kids. Lee has drawn comics for newspapers, children's books, t-shirts, logos, stickers, posters, live drawings for big groups, as well as teaching youth cartooning all over Alaska. Lee told us, "I'm a self-taught artist. I doodled my way through elementary school and high school, then got more serious when I graduated college and needed a way to express myself. Over many years, I worked to practice and experiment with my art. I'm always trying some new idea, style, or way of telling stories. And here today is Lee Post to try some new ideas, styles, and way of telling stories with us." So we'll go ahead and pull the slides down. And there he is. Lee Post, take it away. Thank you.
Oh, hello, little friends. How are you guys doing? I see some familiar faces and some people I have not met before, but we will be friends at the end. So what we are going to do today is we are going to be drawing, and we are going to be drawing the entire time. So I warn you now that we told you to get a pen and or a pencil and have those ready. Have a stack of like scratch paper ready. It doesn't have to be fancy paper. You may want a towel and an ice pack because you're going to be so sweaty after drawing today that you will be unbelievably, you're going to have to, like, if you want to go draw harder and faster, and we're going to kind of go at the speed you guys want to go, because I have more activities than we could possibly do today in 2 hours. And so we don't need to rush, and we don't need to do it at a leisurely pace, but we're going to do it at a pace that feels fun for you guys. But before we do that, my philosophy on drawing is that we are going to be drawing for quantity. We're going to draw as many pictures as we can in this hour. They do not have to be the best pictures. We're not going to be fussy. We are drawing to experiment and to have fun. And so feel free. Do not get stressed. You should have a smile on your face in addition to sweating into your eyes, but you should be having fun more than that. So to get us started, what we are going to do is we are going to warm up. And so our first warm up is going to be, we are going to draw on, I say index card, you can just grab a corner of a piece of paper, and we're going to draw for 3 minutes. And so nothing on this slide is apparently right at all, but we are going to draw for 3 minutes, and we are going to draw you on vacation. And so we can draw you wearing something you would wear on vacation, like sunglasses or a hat. This could be you somewhere you like to go. This could be an imaginary vacation to the moon, wearing a sunglasses and hat, which I would not recommend. Get a spacesuit if you're going to go to the moon. So you can do that. So it could be somewhere you've been, you want to go, something related to vacation. And so I am going to start the timer now. So please start drawing you on vacation. This could be a picture of your body. It could be a picture of you wearing shorts. You may be in a skier, so you could be in a ski suit. You could be doing any number of things that are fun on vacation. So think about what you're wearing, where you'd be. You may not feel comfortable drawing people, so maybe you just want to draw a landscape. Maybe you want to go to the mountains or draw a picture of the ocean, or maybe you like going to the city or Disneyland, or maybe you just like staycations and you're drawing your couch covered in Pokemon cards and dirty socks, much like our couch is covered in. So you could do anything you want that is going to make you happy. Maybe you like reading and you were sitting on a throne of books, of king or queen of the books. Maybe you want to go in the past and go visit a castle, or you want to go under the sea and ride a whale, or visit a blobfish. And so you've got another minute to finish drawing your vacation. And what we are going to do when it gets to be time, if you want to turn on your camera, you can. It does not bother me if you want to keep your camera on or off. It is completely up to you because we're having a fun, relaxing time. But if you have your camera on or want to turn it on temporarily, we're all going to hold up our pictures at the same time. I have been talking this whole time and I realized I did not draw a picture, so I apologize in advance. I will try to do better. But we will all hold up our pictures, and we can't clap because we're holding pictures, but we can definitely enjoy everybody's pictures. And so we've got 30 seconds left. You should see a little smoke from your pencil if you're using a pencil. Your pen might be melting in your hand. If that's the case, slow down. All right, you got 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. And then you can put your pencils down. All right, everybody, you have just returned from vacation. So I'm going to count 3, 2, 1. And you guys are going to hold up your vacation pictures so everybody can see. And go. We're all on vacation. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, I like the whale. Oh, very nice. Oh, that's Jenny. I like that. Oh, that's cool. All right, everybody. You guys did great. For a warm up, we are off to a fine start. So what we are going to do now, I will tell you what we're going to do for the whole hour so you will not get confused or nervous. We are going to draw faces. It says kind of right on the tin, we are going to draw faces. And what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to draw faces using simple shapes. We're then going to play around with drawing emotions. We are then going to draw some people and then some people doing some stuff. Then we're going to try to learn to draw faces using fractions. And so if you are not good at fractions or you have not done them in school, I will explain them and it will be easy. And then we may even draw faces in 3D. or we may do some drawing Simon Says. We'll just kind of see how far we get. And then we may do a cool down and do another fun activity. So does that sound good to everybody? If you like it, the sound of that, put your thumbs up. Nice. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. So everybody get a fresh piece of paper out, because we are going to fill this piece of paper up. What we are going to do is we are going to, using the shapes you see here, we are going to draw faces. And so we're going to use dots and circles and smaller dots and lines and dashes and curves and simple shapes like triangles and ovals and polygons and all of the things you've learned about in school. And we are going to combine those to draw faces. And so those faces may be something like that. It may be something like this. It may be something like this. What we're going to do is try to do as many faces on a piece of paper as possible. And we're going to play around with the shapes we use. We're going to play around with where we're putting the faces, like what happens if you draw a really big face with really big eyes and a tiny nose and a tiny mouth. What happens if you draw that same face and you put the eyes really close together and make the mouth really big? What kind of face? I mean, we're going to do as many different variations as we can in 3 minutes, and we're going to see if we can fill up the whole piece of paper. So your little faces should be about the size of a quarter, about the size of your thumb, so you can get as many as possible in there. But be creative with how you're using all of the pieces and parts. So let me put the timer back up there. And so is everybody clear? If you're not sure, just throw it in the chat. But otherwise, start your 3 minutes now and draw as many faces as possible using as many different shapes and drawings. Get creative. I've seen kids put 2 circles together in a line and you got a pair of glasses, or they use some dashes and curves to draw some hair. It can be anything you want. The key is that you try not to repeat yourself. And so maybe you're drawing a jack-o'-lantern with triangle eyes, or you're drawing a guy with a giant nose, or you're combining a line and some half circles, and you've got yourself like some teeth. You should be really just, if you've got a sibling with you, you should be making that sibling laugh with the funny faces you're making. Maybe you've got some robots there, some monsters. They don't all need to be people, but they do all need to be faces. About halfway through. Don't forget your eyebrows. Some people add some noses. Maybe add a neck or two somewhere. Maybe if you've drawn a bunch of circles, you're drawing something with a hard edge, like a triangle or an octagon, to see how that looks. Maybe if you've done a bunch of eyebrows that are lines, maybe you want to have some curly ones that look like caterpillars. And so we've got about 10 seconds left. You should be looking, your page should be almost completely full. All right, and that is our time, folks. So pencils down. Oh, Natalie, I can see you. You were right up to the edge. All right, so 1, 2, 3. We're holding up our faces. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, Julia, very nice. Oh, Natalie, oh, cool. Oh, very good job. All right, papers down. We got more activities. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take the things you just learned and experimented with, and we are going to go into the realm of emotion. So we are going to talk about our 6 emotions. So if you've seen the movie Inside Out, you might be covering some territory you know about. And so you've got some basic emotions like fear and anger and sadness and happiness and being disgusted and surprised. And so if you look at those pictures, you'll see kind of some common elements and some other things where, like, if you were fearful, you've got the eyebrows going up and your eyes are really big. And if you're angry, the eyebrows are going down. You can see the person's mouth kind of open. And sad, look at the difference between the eyebrows on the angry person and the sad person, and the disgusted person and the surprised person. And so a lot of these things you guys know automatically. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the same activity we just did. But this time we are going to try to do as many of those 6 emotions as we can with our faces, because we've already experimented with drawing faces. And now we're going to try to draw the faces so that they're showing different emotions. So you want to draw at least these 6 faces of fear, anger, sadness, happiness, disgust, surprise. And then you guys might decide you are going to go crazy and draw surprise emotions. And these might be emotions like what it feels like to get out of the bed when your mom's poking you to go to school, or what it feels like when you get the almost right birthday present and you're not quite sure how you feel. And so if you've got a sibling there with you, you can look at that sibling and do emotions. So Caleb, you can make an angry face for your sister to draw, and your sister can make a happy face. Oh, it's only happy with you two. And so and so get experimenting. So I'm going to put the timer back on, and we'll set the timer for 3 minutes again. And then we are going to draw as many emotions as we can. And I'll move this little picture around. And do you guys want me to put up the emotion? I'm going to put the faces up again. Does that work? All right. Try to be creative. You might want to have different face shapes. Might want to do different ages. Maybe you have little kids. Now, all of these drawings are only for you. So if you don't want to share with them, you do not have to. Some people save their pictures and show them to their parents. Other people don't. Some people save them. Some people just enjoy them while we're drawing and throw them away. It's all okay. Got about another minute to draw. All right, we've got about 5 more seconds, folks. So if you're missing any emotions, this is the time to lock it in, put the last eyebrows on there, last teardrops. All right, folks. So what did you do? Let's hold them up to the camera again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, Julia, very nice. I like those. Oh, cool. Oh, Wyatt. Oh, those are great, guys. Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, pencils down. Let's see. We are doing well. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go and we are going to now draw some people. And so you can kind of see here, I put some basic folks. And so I had to some of these things because I drew the Among Us guy wrong. But these are some basic people that you can draw in a pinch. If you are having trouble drawing people, you're not sure how to do it, you've got kind of Keyhole Kin here, who is a little guy, and you can see he's got a circle for a head and a little like polygon body, and he looks like a keyhole. And you could draw the keyhole and add some arms and legs, and you got a little guy. And then you've got the Among Us guy, which looks like kind of like a little squat hydrant with little floating hands. You've got the Starman guy, who is just a star. And so, but you can kind of make the little legs of the star look like a person. And it's just a real fun and easy way. You can add a belt and some lines. You got some t-shirt. And then finally, you got one of my favorites. You got the human bean and the noodle arms. And it's a little guy whose body looks like a bean, and he's got noodle arms, and you can just go wild with that guy because he can kind of do whatever shape. And then you really don't have to worry about elbows because his legs and arms kind of go everywhere. And so he's a really fun guy to draw. And so you don't have to take my word for it, because we're going to do another activity right now. And we are going to take these guys on a new piece of paper, or on the other side of the paper you already have. And we are going to take one of these simple folks, and we are going to draw some actions and expressions. Oh, nice. And so we are going to draw somebody, maybe you want to draw them happily dancing, or jumping when they're surprised, or running scared, or stomping in anger, or something else that your minds cook up. And so, but take one of those guys, or if you have a different way to draw, even like stick figures or anything like that, do it now. The key is that we're thinking about our actions, and we're thinking about our drawing, and we're trying to combine the two. So I'm going to give you guys another. Do you guys think 3 minutes is enough, or do we need more time to draw our little people? Come on, thumbs up if you need more time, thumbs down if 3 minutes is fine. All right, we'll go with, oh, okay. Well, how about 4 minutes? So three, oh, let me do it on the wrong thing. So 4 minutes, and we go now. So think about what your person could be doing. Are they jumping up with excitement? Are they stomping around? Are they doing exercises? Are they, maybe they're gymnasts or ballerinas? Maybe they're jumping into a puddle, which is we should be doing right now. It's all, everything's frozen here in Anchorage, but key is you guys are having fun. And if something doesn't look exactly like you want it to, that's fine, because we're experimenting. We've got about 2 minutes left. Maybe these folks are on vacation. Maybe they're on the moon. Maybe you've got a happy turtle slowly running to the store. We've got about 30 seconds left. Think about if there's anything, you probably have time for just a very quick drawing. All right. About 10 seconds left, everyone. You should be putting your final scratches on your piece of paper. All right, and then pencils down. So what did you guys come up with? What actions do you have? To hold them up to the camera and we'll take a look. Oh, nice. I see. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, nice. Oh, these are great. Oh, Ellie, those are great. You were not kidding about doing realistic drawings. Very nice. Oh, Wyatt, wonderful. Oh, you guys are doing great. Oh, Julia, wonderful. I like the unicorn. Oh, very cool. All right, guys. What we are going to do now is we are going to practice drawing some characters, but we're going to mix it up. Do you guys want to do thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm looking at the time. Do you want to go right into drawing faces, or do you want to draw some more characters? Thumbs up for characters, no thumbs for drawing faces. Oh, all right. Well, we're going to do some characters, then we'll do faces. We'll split the difference. All right, so everybody take a piece of paper, and we are going to fold this piece of paper into four. And so we are going to take one piece of paper, fold it hamburger style, and then fold it over hamburger style again. And that is going to give us 4 little panels. Or you could just draw a box. But this is more paper folding, and I like this is more fun. So what we're going to do in each one of those boxes is we are going to draw some kind of number or letter or shape, and we're going to take up maybe about like most of the box. So here's an example. We're going to do a 4. So you do whatever you want. Maybe it's the letters of your name. Maybe it's your favorite numbers. And you're going to draw them kind of big like. And so then what we're going to do, I think you guys are following right along. We are going to take those things, and now we are going to use those letters and numbers as a basis for a character. And so is it a person? Is it a monster? Is it a race car? We've already had some pretty good unicorn work here. So maybe it's a unicorn. And are they feeling anything? Are they doing anything? So take those letter numbers right now and get to work. You're going to have 4 minutes. And so you'll have about a minute per letter or number or shape, but don't think too hard about it. Try to be as creative as possible so that maybe you're using some of the shapes that you used in your faces. Let's see. Maybe it's something that you have around your house where you imagined. And again, it does not have to be the best drawing. We're kind of playing around with shapes and being creative. And so it could just be a sketch that reminds you of something. Be like could be a vehicle, could be a man, could be a lady, could be a swamp monster, could be a blobfish. Got about a minute and a half. About 30 seconds left. You should be on your fourth one, trying something new. All right, 10 seconds left. You should be making your final pencil marks. You should be looking back proudly on what you've done. All right, guys. So what do we have? What did we draw? Hold it up. Oh, nice. Oh, very nice. Got a cat. Oh, nice. Bird. Oh, that's really cool. Some fish. Oh, some happy people. Some guys fishing. Ooh, some fruit people. Nice. Oh, very good. Oh, guys, you're incredible. Oh, like an alligator E. That's pretty great. Oh, those are great. All right, guys. So how are we doing with our sweat? I don't see anybody yet sweating. Maybe it's because it is very, very cold today. But do you have any sweat in your hands? Can you do a hand check and make sure like you don't have any sweat building up under your fingernails from all the drawing? Maybe your pen is smudging. All right, it looks like we're all set. All right, well, we're about, we just got about 15 more minutes to go, I think. So we are well on the way. All right, so what we are going to do is we are going to draw some people. So take out a piece of paper. We need a fresh sheet. And what we're going to do is we are going to draw an oval. And so our oval is going to be about the size of the piece of paper. We want to have a little bit extra space on there to draw some hair and stuff later, but you want a good size oval. And you want to use kind of like, this is going to be a template. And so you can draw kind of lightly, but that's going to be our like the start of our face. Then what we're going to do is we are going to then take our oval and we're going to kind of like do a light line, or we can do an imaginary line down the middle. It might be dashes. And then we're going to take another line and we're going to draw a line at the 1/2.
Bella and Wyatt can both be doing
Split it right in half. And so now I told you, I warned you about fractions. So now we're getting into fractions. So we're drawing a line at 1/2. Then we're going to draw another line at 1/4. So we're going to draw a 1/2 of a 1/2. Then, if you're not going crazy yet with fraction fun, we are going to do another line at 1/2 of a 1/2 of 1/2. So we're going to do a line at the 1/8 part. And these lines are going to be the guides for our faces. And so just like anything here, it's going to be kind of loose and you can kind of use the lines as you want, but they're going to kind of be where we put, so if you imagine another line, even like at this 1/2 area, we're going to put some like eyes there. And then our nose goes from like the 1/2 line to the 1/4 line. And our mouth goes right the 1/8 line. And our ears kind of go in between here. And then you can kind of see like the face kind of comes together and it kind of gives you a loose way to put everything into its place. But just like anything we did with all of our practicing, you can kind of stick to those lines, like the example here, and draw kind of a realistic face. You could get crazy and like kind of move the lines around a little bit. And you can kind of see in this boy's face, the lines aren't quite at the half mark and everything's kind of scooted down a little smaller. But it gives us a nice template to do even a lazy wolfman, as we all draw everybody's favorite character, lazy wolfman. And so what we're going to do is we are going to take this loose template. You can either draw the template or use it in your mind. And we are going to practice drawing a face. And so this could be a man or a woman's face. This could be somebody with wild hair, a nose of some sort, maybe a big nose, a tiny nose, a button nose, an upturned nose, ears, like pointy ears or pokey out ears or flat ears. They could have an emotion. You can decide their name, but we're going to take 4 minutes and work on that. So starting now, and I'll draw along with you guys. So use your template. So don't be afraid to experiment. You now have a pile of faces to draw from. So if you can't think anything, look at some of those sample faces you did with simple shapes and see if you can use this template and expand that into something that looks a little bit more well developed. I don't want to say better, but just a little bit more developed where you spend a little more time on it. This template also helps you like kind of figure out where you want to put the mouth and the jawline. But just like anything, you can kind of take or leave certain parts of it. It's kind of one of those things where the rules are made to be broken. You have about 2 more minutes to draw your characters. You should have kind of in your mind what you're going to draw or experiment with it. If you need to restart, you're more than welcome to do that because this is just for you. I'm going to give him a silly mustache. At the last minute, I'm going to give my guys some big glasses. All right, you have about 30 seconds left to draw your faces. All right, 5 seconds. You should be putting your pencils down. All right, and then 3, 2, 1. We're gonna hang it up, or we're gonna show it. Whoa, Caleb, that's wild. Oh, these are so great. Oh, Julia. Oh, these are great. Oh, Wyatt, awesome. Oh, these are cool. Great job, everybody. Give yourself a hand. That could be a little hand emoji. Oh, great job. All right, guys, how are you guys feeling? Ooh, well, I think we have time. Laura or Jenny, you want to correct me if I'm wrong? I think we just have enough time to do a cool down. I think we're at 4:30 right now. So what we're going to do is oh, Jenny said in the chat that this guy looks like the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I think so. And so what we're going to do now, guys, is we are going to do our cool down. So get another piece of paper out, our final piece of paper of the day. And we are going to do our cool down. And our cool down is, what is the worst vacation ever? So where would you not like to go? What would you be wearing during this awful vacation? Is it somewhere you've been and you don't like to think about it because it was just not very much fun? Like a trip to an empty parking lot, for example. So think about that. And we're going to do that in 3 minutes. And then we've got a few things to talk about at the very end. So 3, 2, 1, go. Worst vacation ever. What would you be wearing? What would you be doing? We talked about emotions. So what would your face be looking like if you draw your face? You know, you can choose, like we talked about before. You can talk about, you could draw your face and your emotions. You could be just drawing the place itself. You could draw something you imagined or experienced. Maybe it's a chocolate fountain, but instead of a chocolate fountain, it's a chocolate beach holiday. You have to go swim in pudding every day. And it's the same pudding the whole week. Sounds pretty gross. Maybe it's a horse stable, but you don't actually get to see horses. You just get to sit in the stable all day. Like, it could be any number of just bad holidays. About 2 minutes left. All right, guys, we have about a minute left. During our last minute drawings, if this is the part where we sprint, guys. So if you aren't working up a sweat now, you should be just drawing at full speed, furiously, drawing the time you went to Death Valley in a car full of cheese, and it's got very hot and milty and stinky. Or the time you went to the moon, we talked about the moon with just a hat and sunglasses and no spacesuit. That would not be very much fun either. Maybe it's a beach holiday, but the weather's like it is outside right now. What would it look like? All right, we have about 10 more seconds. And then we are going to show our last drawings of the day. Oh, those are great. All right, hold your pictures up, everybody. Oh, those are great. Look at, oh, Jenny, so sad. Oh, these guys are so great. Oh, Natalie, your picture is so sad. Oh, these are great. The little note. Oh, guys, well, you can put your papers down. That is wonderful. That is so great. And so how, by show of thumbs, how much fun did we have today? Like is it 2 thumbs worth? Is it 1 thumb worth? Oh, nice. Oh, this is so great. Oh, thank you. Oh, guys. Oh, so wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I am going to turn it over to Ginny, who may have some questions. I'm also going to change my background over to something very silly. And so feel free, Ginny, if you want to take it over. I will be here in front of some tater tots.
I love your tater tots, Lee. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Jenny, do you want me to go ahead and kick us off, or do you want to kick us off with any of the questions that we might have? That's what's happening now. Is we have a little bit of time to have some question and answer with Lee. So think for just a second about any questions you might have for Lee, and feel free to pop them in the chat. But I'm going to ask my friend Jenny to start with a kickoff question.
Great, thank you. This was super fun. Thank you all for participating too. You all are great artists and such great work that you've been doing. What is one of the coolest pieces you've ever been commissioned to do?
Ooh, well, I did do a concert poster using tater tots, but due to COVID, we never got to use it. It was but my favorite, I think, and it was unfortunately very relevant, was for the municipality. I got to do their, for a couple of years ago, well before COVID, do their Get the Flu Shot campaign. And so I got to draw some little people with fighting a giant flu bug. But then the funny part is, what I didn't realize is I went downtown and they had made costumes. And so I got to see like a Get the Flu Shot campaign, and all of the municipal people were in giant flu bug costumes, and it was so cool. So that was pretty fun.
That's so great. I've got one here from Lily. What is the drawing style you find the easiest?
Oh, well, I used to draw like more realistically, and for about 6-7 years I did a comic strip every week in the paper, and so I started off really realistically, and then over time got more simple and more using more shapes and different things like that. And so I tend to be a little bit more cartoony over time, and I find that to be funner because it's faster to draw and I can get the ideas out faster.
Awesome. Yeah, I found that too, like getting being more expressive with easier, smaller sketches might be a way to give you a broader sense of something bigger or something more detailed later on. That's a great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the other thing I learned is to do practice drawings and not just put pen to paper and try to do the final drawing all in one go. That's
super awesome. Got another question here from one of your participants. What's your favorite picture that you've ever made?
Oh, well, I drew, let me see if I can, reaching down for a box, but just recently somebody told me I did a sticker one time based on some feedback somebody gave me at an event. So, and then, oh, here's some cool, oh, that's not gonna work. Oh no, but I drew a little sun and the son said kind of what's going right, and it was based on something somebody told me um, during this conference, and so I did a sticker for it. And then I found out the other day that one of my friends had said, I didn't know you did that sticker. I got it from somebody, and I was going through a really hard time, and I would look at it every day as we were going through that hard time, and it really helped me. And so it was really a nice thing that you could do art that makes a difference in people's lives and it's meaningful. So that was really sweet.
That's awesome. And how do you know when something you have drawn is good enough to share?
Usually when I can't stop looking at it, so like I take a look at it, and so I tend to draw for stuff I think is interesting. And so when I've drawn something that entertains me, and I can't think of anything more to do with it, I just kind of take my hands off and stand away. That's kind of how I know when to do it. Oh, it's very cool.
You guys are all sharing such awesome pictures while we're talking too.
Oh,
What encouraged you to first start drawing?
I have been drawing like since I was I was all you guys' age, and I've been just kind of doodling and having fun. But the thing of it was is I didn't share it with anybody. I didn't draw to like share, and so it ended up in these scrap piece of paper or little books. And so that's one of the reasons we do the work we do now, is just to draw as much as possible and to just enjoy drawing and not worrying about who sees it, or being embarrassed about the skills you still have to develop because you're still developing. And I didn't realize that at that time. I thought I had to be good right off the bat. And so, Wyatt's got a.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Wyatt, you got a good question. I think mostly, and Wyatt is our next door neighbor and a great guy, but he has been over and seen how many comic books we have. And so I think a lot of what made me like comic books was watching cartoons and comics and drawing what I liked.
Super awesome. One of my kid really likes Tumbleleaf, which is not like drawn, but it's like claymation. And so I kind of think of, in my mind, like how we can apply some of that movable art to things that you draw, because that's what I kind of see is like all this action and movement in it. So have you done different types of like art or just drawing? Like have you moved into other art forms?
I've been drawing like a little bit of animation, but you just were reminding me, I met some of the guys who worked at Leica. And so and we were just watching Kubo and Missing Link this week, and we watched Paranorman. And I got to hold some of the little animated things, and I got to go to a museum in Portland and see their stuff. And it was just amazing the amount of craft that goes into it and the amount of drawing. And so if you are watching those movies, or can go to YouTube with your parents' permission and watch some of the making of those stop motion figures, you'd be surprised at how much work goes into it and how much like love goes into like every follicle of hair. And we were watching Kubo, and they'd made all these machines to make just the waves. And it was this blend of like art and mechanics and fiber work. And it was really, really cool.
So there was two other ones, and then we could probably wrap up. But so what was one of your latest drawings? Did you explain that?
I think my latest stuff has been kind of drawing for this class and sitting down and drawing and really thinking about how I want to teach art and have people enjoy it. Because I'm used to going around a classroom. And so if we were in a classroom, I'd be running around and looking at all your artwork over your shoulder. And I saw some people down like Homer. I'd be down at the library there with you guys. And so what I want to do is make sure that I did some art that like actually like helped you guys do this class and enjoy it in a way that would be just like us all being in a classroom together and sharing paperwork and putting it up on the wall and things like that. But other than that, I was drawing pictures of people for a local store. So I drew everybody's portraits in there. That was really fun.
Okay, and the other one was what made you start art? Or not made you, but, and I know that was kind of like what we maybe said before, but like, how did you know that you could draw?
Well, I think a good point, because I talked about being a little kid, but when I got done with college, I knew I wanted to do something. And I wanted to do something other than what I do for my job. And so I decided to make a magazine. And so I bought a computer back when they were really, really expensive, and then just made a magazine and dropped it around town And I was also very young and very embarrassed. And so, of course, I didn't hand it to anybody. I would just leave it places. And then I found out later that people really liked it and they gave me feedback. And then they were like, well, why didn't you tell us you did this? I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't very proud of it, I guess. And so that's, again, another lesson in just being courageous and being able to share your art. Because even if you think you have some things to develop, you have people who you can make happy with the art, you can make yourself happy. And a lot of times being embarrassed of your art or hiding it or being nervous about showing it is a worse feeling than just showing it to somebody and both of you guys enjoying with what good ideas you have. And so that was the one lesson I realized since I was young and as a young adult, is just to be courageous in showing your art.
That's awesome. And I know I'm going to hand it back over to Laura here in just a second to do our closeout. But just a short reminder, and we're going to do a call to action too. But anything you all have drawn that you want to submit to our project, we'll put it on the website. So if you want to share your project and put your first name and where you live, not like your address, but like your hometown, or you can name it Planet Vulcan or whatever the worst or best vacation places that you could imagine being at. That's fine too, and a description of what your art might be, and send it to our email address that I'll drop again here in the chat box, and you all can send us your art and we'll put it up on the website.
And that is actually a great segue into, we're going to do one more poll with you guys. Now we asked Lee a bunch of questions. We're going to ask you one more question. And I think I know the answer for some of you that we've been watching draw during the question and answer period while we're listening and submitting questions. But I'm going to pop this poll up. And the question for you all is, following today's workshop, how likely is it that you might draw more faces? So take just a minute. We'll leave the poll up here. Yep, some folks are already drawing faces right now. That's, yep. We'll give you a minute here. Awesome. Thanks everybody for sharing. That's really great. I appreciate. I'm going to go ahead and stop the poll here. And yeah, we're just going to, I want to say a big thank you to Lee, and just to follow up, if we can bring our slides back up so we can all see it together. Here we are. Jenny already noted this, but please remember to share your creations with us and your peers. And Jenny's going to make sure the contact information is in the chat box for you as well. And if we can kind of move to the next slide. Thank you to our contributing partners. And I think we might need to flip forward in the slides as well. Let's see. Yes, perfect. Oops, if we could go back. Yep. Please remember that our resource is here for you. The last year has been challenging for how we live, work, and play. This was a super fun day of drawing with Lee. Thank you. Please consider checking out these resources on this slide if you have any needs for mental health services or crisis intervention. And if we'll go one more forward here, that information is here on the slide, and it's also on the Amplifying Youth Voices Alaska website, so you can always check it out there. And Jenny has popped the contact information for that into our site. And if we can go forward one more time. Everybody, thank you. And thank you to Lee Post for being our fearless leader in our workshop today. Gratitude to Lee. You can also find a list of future presenters on our website on the Amplifying Youth Voices Alaska. So if you want to try some more art, please go there and register. Jenny's going to pop the link for registration into the chat. And yes, all I want now is tater tots. So thank you. Well, and have a great evening. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you in another workshop at some point. Thank you, Lee. Yay.
Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Take care and have a good evening. Be nice to your parents.